Our previous videos covered how an impending economic downturn could make things worse for the general public. However, Elon Musk believes that this recession is precisely what the world needs to turn things around in the long run. In this video, we will tackle the factors behind Musk's belief that an economic recession will make things better for everyday consumers. There is a growing consensus among financial analysts that we may be on the brink of a worldwide economic downturn of catastrophic proportions. Although that is undoubtedly terrible to hear, it does not appear to be too much of a concern for the richest man on the planet. In an unexpected outcome, Musk has acknowledged that he is in favor of the current economic downturn and believes it may benefit everyone. Okay, so at this point, I am aware of what you're thinking. Is Elon Musk completely deranged for making such a statement? It seems that despite the fact that his comment initially seemed a bit absurd, he does have a pretty good justification for it. The CEO of Tesla was interacting with some of his fans on Twitter when one of them raised an extremely intriguing question. The user asked, "Do you still think we're approaching a recession?" As soon as the user asked the question, Musk reacted with a flood of words. Yes, but this is actually a good thing. It has been raining money on fools for too long. Some bankruptcies need to happen. Also, all the COVID stay-at-home stuff has tricked people into thinking that they don't actually need to work hard. Rude awakening inbound, Elon stated on Twitter. On the other hand, critics argued that this was just strong language from a $200 billion plus man. Let's not overlook that Musk has reaped enormous financial benefits from the generosity of his fellow billionaires, who have contributed to the expansion of his fortune. So what exactly does he know about economic downturns? And why should we even make an effort to listen to a man who appears to be in the top 1% of the top 1%? Musk feels that the fact that he has a long history of weathering harsh financial situations and unpleasant surprises is sufficient cause to pay much attention to the success he is achieving today. And a good example of this would be Tesla. When Musk first put money into Tesla in 2004, it was just an upcoming corporation with a vision of becoming the biggest electric vehicle maker in the world. Musk staked a sizable portion of his wealth on the outcome of the company and contributed an astounding $6.5 million to its funding. When Tesla was just starting, everything moved at a snail's pace. Tesla needed 4 years to release its first vehicle, the Tesla Roadster, which Musk's naysayers had mocked as a ripoff of the famous Lotus Elise during that period. An initial retail price of around $80,000 meant that the Roadster was far from affordable. When it came to foreign sales in 2013, the company only sold 2,450 units of the electric vehicle. Fortunately, Tesla was awarded a portion of the federal stimulus package in the form of a loan from the government for $465 million in 2010. This money allowed the business to develop and produce the revolutionary electric vehicle, the Tesla Model S. As of now, Tesla is one of the most prominent electric vehicle manufacturers that promote renewable energy efforts. To get back to the original point, why does Musk think a recession would benefit the public? He argues that businesses with a negative cash flow won't be able to make it through the forthcoming global recession, and the debts these businesses possess will ultimately lead to a reduction in the excessive consumption of natural resources. In a follow-up query, a different Twitter handle going by the name Doge Army General urged Elon Musk to provide a specific timeline about the duration of this downturn. How long do you believe this recession will persist, Elon? You called it. Just curious. Could this one last years? The Twitter user said. Which Musk replied, based on past experience, about 12 to 18 months. Companies that are inherently negative cash flow, i.e. value destroyers, need to die so that they stop consuming resources. The rising inflation, increasing prices of gasoline, and disruptions in supply chains brought on by COVID-19 are the primary factors causing the United States economy to be on the edge of experiencing a catastrophic recession, as stated by the financial analysts working for the New York Post. Moreover, according to the data that was only recently made public by the government of the United States, the gross domestic product, or GDP, which is a fundamental measurement of the products and services generated by a country, fell up to 1.5% in just the first quarter of 2022. Although it might not appear to be very large, the amount of money that is being lost by thousands of businesses around the country surely adds up to billions of dollars. It's difficult to stomach since America's GDP rose 6.9% in the fourth quarter of 2021. Musk went on to remark that whenever there is an excessive amount of wealth in a country, the economic system of that country suffers from a misdistribution of human capital. When this happens, you start to notice that people are acting in ridiculous ways that are not beneficial to their fellow humans. He even makes the remark that resource-sucking corporations need to be flushed out with some type of economic enema to unclog the pipes. And sort of the bullshit companies go bankrupt, and the ones that are doing useful products are prosperous. And there's certainly a lesson here that if one is making a useful product and has a company that makes sense, make sure you're not running things too close to the edge from a capital standpoint. They've got some capital reserves to last through irrational times, Elon stated. This isn't Elon Musk's only strong position on the economy. It would appear that Elon Musk is blaming sitting President Joe Biden's administration for getting us into this predicament in the first place. This administration, it doesn't seem to get a lot done. The Trump administration, leaving Trump aside, there were a lot of people in the administration who were effective at getting things done, Elon wrote. Particularly harsh on Biden was Musk's criticism of the incompetent manner in which his administration carries out plans regarding inflation. The government printed an enormous quantity of additional money in comparison to what is actually possessed, which is the most evident cause of inflation. The government can simply issue checks for excessive revenue because money's movement remains unchanged in the absence of inflation. However, this isn't the first instance that Musk has criticized Biden's government in this manner. Several months ago, Musk referred to the president as a damp sock puppet in human form, slamming his government for not inviting Tesla to an electric vehicle summit and instead praising Ford and General Motors. Nevertheless, Elon Musk has been expecting a worldwide recession for some time now, despite his recent dispute with President Joe Biden. Musk actually predicted that a global downturn would occur in December 2021. Despite the fact that Tesla CEO Elon Musk is not an economist, several prominent financial analysts, like former Goldman Sachs CEO Lloyd Blankfein, have expressed similar concerns about an impending recession. During an interview with CBS, Blankfein made it quite apparent that there was an extremely high possibility of a recession, and he predicted that it might impact the economy of the United States as early as 2023. In addition, the chair of the United States Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, recently voiced some worries that the economy may be headed for a recession due to the Federal Reserve raising interest rates at the beginning of May. According to him, erroneous supply chain congestion and Russia's attack on Ukraine are among the possible causes of the impending recession. For Tesla CEO Elon Musk, the global downturn might persist for more than a year. Such a prolonged economic downturn might lead to the demise of businesses that create a negative cash flow and misuse a significant amount of the planet's resources. As the chief executive officer of Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and the Boring Company, Musk continues to believe that a recession may be suitable for his businesses. What if something happens to them? From his point of view, one of the most significant advantages of going through a recession is being able to reallocate capital. And he's not mistaken in his assertions at all. Even Andrew Mellon, who worked as the Secretary of Treasury under Presidents Harding, Coolidge, and Hoover, held the same opinions during the 1930s. Mellon said this in his memoirs: "Liquidate labor, liquidate stocks, liquidate the farmers, liquidate real estate, purge the rottenness out of the system. High costs of living and high living will come down, and enterprising people will pick up the racks from less competent people. When there is a surge in the economy, there is, in fact, a waste of money. This is why each of us can recall at least one business that didn't make much sense. We can also consider instances where new businesses enter the market at a period of rising prices, only to discover that they are having difficulty meeting the revenue projections they made when they first launched. In today's world, this is typically a red flag indicating that a business strategy isn't as solid as it was made up to be in marketing materials. Recessions, however, are extremely painful since they lead to the loss of businesses and an increase in the number of jobless people. One of the most severe economic downturns in recent times was the Great Depression, which occurred in the 1930s and is often regarded as the worst downturn in history. Since the beginning of the Great Depression, unemployment in the United States climbed from 3% to 24%. Because it was such a horrific experience, almost 80 years later, former chair of the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, issued an official apology for the terrible economic depression that occurred at that time. I'm thinking about the Great Depression right now. Regarding the Great Depression, we did it. We're very sorry and we won't do it again, he previously said. The stock of Musk's electric vehicle manufacturer, Tesla, could also be negatively affected by his forecasts of an economic recession. It's not uncommon for the stock values of automakers to suffer the weight of a downturn. With that said, Tesla's shares and those of other manufacturers have been responding as though the recession is imminent. Shares of both General Motors and Ford Motor Company have plunged by 35% in a little over a year, marking one of the worst performances for each company in recent memory. This is not surprising given that automobiles are regarded as substantial investments in today's market and are therefore typically funded by investors. And when the economy is in a downturn, investors tend to panic, and as a result, they sell their car-related shares quickly because they are worried about the future. Because of this, it is highly likely that a downward trend for automobile stocks such as Tesla will continue well into the year 2023. As long as the government doesn't intervene, the situation will continue to deteriorate. There's a good chance that this impending recession will affect even millionaires like Elon Musk. Do you guys agree with Elon Musk's opinion about the inevitable economic disaster that is soon coming? How long do you guys think the economic recession will last? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Kindly like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.